we'll play again.
All right.
Alrighty. Welcome to the B&R Racing Network. Here tonight, as these drivers take on Charlotte, the longest race of the season in real life, which is the Coke 600. Always an awesome race, very big on supporting the military. But I'll go over the race information here. As you see, we're in Concord, North Carolina. It's a 1/4 mile track. "74 degrees out, 49% meaning partly cloudy, 2-mile-per-hour wind. These drivers do run fixed sets. "70% fuel, 1 fast repair. And the production is by me and Will. So as we see here, Lawton currently on top of the board. Then Lee, then Farmer, then Cochran, then Trzynski. Such a great track. I like it. Actually, it's one of my favorites. Anybody else going out here? Let's see. Tire wear is going to be key. These cars do drive on the right front a lot. So it's going to be interesting to see here what these drivers can do. The outside lane will give you the massive amounts of run off the top. I don't think anybody else is going out at the moment. You see here, Will Roberts now out there on the field. Sorry, on the field. Out there on the track. Oh, as he goes to the top of the board, only a 1-lap run by him. Okay. Why isn't...
The racing was pretty exciting. Controversy, we don't forget it all that, but it was pretty compelling. Great to see the
See there?
drivers get into
Oh,
it, right? Some
and
of
that
them
is
are.
probably going to do it here from qualifying. Now I'm going to go over the starting grid here. So P1 will be Will Roberts. P1 will be Will Roberts, P2 will be Adam Bolton, P3 will be John Neckridge, P4 will be Josh Farmer, P5 will be Kane Lee, P6 will be Michael Carter, P7 will be Michael Cochran, P8 will be Greg Elliott, P9 will be Joseph Madigan, P10 will be Jason Taylor, P11 will be Randy Sample, P12 will be Kevin Trzynski, P13 will be Aaron Spear, P14 will be Brian Baker, P15 will be Antonio Bonani, P16 will be Sean O'Brien, P17 will be Jonathan Schwartz, P18 will be Chris Ostrander, P19 will be Avery McDonald, P20 will be Matt Owens, and P21 will be Clint Collins. So 21 drivers here tonight. In the AMS Cup Series. You see here as drivers are getting ready to pull off the grid here. Come back up here to Will Roberts. So 133 laps, round up to 200 miles. It is 199.5.
So, yes, indeed, 200 miles this evening, Diane.
The wild caboose
Wonderful.
200 miles.
Yep. Charlotte Motor Speedway, looks like we got a good field this evening. 21 starters. Will Roberts is our pole sitter. Not me, of course. Indeed. Rolling into the start, and green flag is out.
So, from experience, these cars do drive off the right front tire. So, you're going to see a lot of different strategies tonight. Best thing I'd tell you, if you're good at saving, save early. If you want a hard charge, you'll have nothing left by lap 15. That's literally how this track's been from the couple of officials. So we'll just have to wait and see how this all turns out and unfolds.
Yes, indeed, Brian. Have to agree with you. How the boat is going to get rocked tonight, this evening. How the car will handle from the daylight minutes or moments of the race into the nighttime hours, or minutes in this case, of the race. Trying to stay up to date with the track changes or on top of the track from from sunlight to sundown can be quite difficult. Difficult transition as far as the temperature of the track cooling, and the car is going to handle a tad bit different. A lot of sunshine beating down on this track at the moment. Very racy conditions. Looks like Roberts getting challenged by Neckridge. Botten all over as well, so you got just a whole fighter squadron just all over one another. All the way back to Greg Elliott in the 8th position. Top 8 covered by 0.7 of a second.
Oh yeah, they are all neck to neck. Neckridge, Roberts, Botten, Lee, Madigan, Farmer, Carter, and Elliott. You could probably throw Cochran in there and sample. They're about like right there. But the more they ride side by side, it is going to be easier for these top 8 here just to pull away.
Baker out of the race. Don't know if he had connection issues, wasn't able to grid. Something happened, but 20 other competitors still in this race. They are separated by a total of 12 and a quarter seconds, Brian. Ostrander started, I believe, from the pit lane.
Yes, he did. Ostrander did start from the pits. So
this track is plenty wide to have multiple groups of racing that we have already been seeing unfolding here in the opening 5 laps of the race. Like I said, quite racy. It's a little bit loose conditions, some of the drivers were saying, so very slick out there. But that also goes into what you were saying too, Brian, kind of whenever I joined, about how Charlotte can be.
The technical track, rhythm track, if you're out of your rhythm, it's going to be a long night for you. I would say if you want to pass, use the outside lane. If you're just riding to keep your tires,
middle to bottom, mainly bottom probably, back up those corners. You're going to let it roll a little bit more into the entry. You're not going to be more open into the throttle like you are in 1 and 2, 3 and 4. You are obviously going to have to let it roll a lot more, back that corner up especially. It's the narrowest 1.5 miles that any league or any series goes to, so Botten now taking the lead. Neckridge must have had a problem. He's fallen back to 4th. Botten and Roberts battling it out for the lead. Right there. Roberts falling down now to the 4th position, almost 3rd. My apologies. Yes, 4th position. Being under fire by Madigan. So Botten has a couple of car lengths of breathing room back to Lee in the 91. Now Neckridge, Roberts, Madigan. That is the top 5. Farmer's back in 6th. Elliott 7th. Carter 8th. Randy Sample 9th. And Spear is in 10th currently.
Hey, see Madigan here will looking to take the inside line there, trying to keep the air off the nose as he sees Will.
Yeah, he doesn't want to get too tight. He wants to, like you say, protect that car, get it in the lane that's not more aero sensitive in front of him. As you were talking about, Roberts kind of almost was controlling the lane that Manigan was using to a certain degree, but Manigan really being a good catfish on the bottom line, being a good bottom feeder.
I have to. Camera view is a little bit too far away, so we'll have to come up with this one. There we go. Although I like that one because.
That's a good panorama view.
Yep. So what is the fuel laps?
40 to 45 laps here this evening here at Charlotte. Most mile and a halves with this percentage of fuel. So that's what we're guesstimating about this evening. Maybe a bit farther. We might see drivers take it to 50, but I doubt it. Maybe 48 might be the distance, the exact fuel mileage distance. Not 100% sure, so just have to keep waiting and seeing. Baker's back in the race, 7 laps down. He's got back out there, so good to see.
So the officials are 100 laps, so they're doing 33 more laps than what the officials are.
Yes, this is the scheduled distance of a truck race here, so.
Yep. For some reason I always thought it was 143 in the trucks. I don't know why. You see there side by side is Farmer and Madigan.
I want to say that's like Kentucky. Nashville, I think. No, Nashville's more than that. They do like. I think they do 150 at Nashville.
And the other thing here is if you're side by side for quite a long time, whoever's on the bottom, I feel bad. Because that driver on the outside lane is making you wear and tear your right side's pretty good. Then the only thing that they're really doing is pretty much wearing their right front. That's about it.
We see a crossover trying to be taken by Will Roberts, getting to the inside of Lee. He's going back to the second position. Farmer trying to go with him through 3 and 4. Up goes the racetrack, goes Neckridge. Manigan going underneath of him. A little bit further back, you have Elliott and Michael Carter right there, side by side, coming out of turn number 2. So, a lot of pigs in a blanket here.
Oh, yeah. You see Madigan looking to go to the inside of that 91 of Lee. Trying to make his move there to get up to Farmer.
I forgot to get my drink cup whenever I got my tablet. It's terrible.
That does happen a little bit.
It's okay. I'll go get it in a moment. Yes, whenever. Anywho, yeah, Farmer tried to get a run up there to Boughton. Just wasn't quite good enough here. As now Farmer's going to fall back to the clutches of Roberts. Roberts going to take that second place back. So Boughton's loving this because he's getting at least a second. I would assume he's got a second lead, or just about. He's got about a 7/10, if that, a 6-7/10 lead right there, you'd have to say. I don't know what it is exactly because Stream is a little bit behind. It looks about to be 7/10, yes. That's what you were talking about being side by side. It really irks the person on the inside or even outside. If the momentum just kind of stalls out, you guys just racing side by side. Well, that person in front that you're trying to race to is just going to become almost a speck in the windshield per se, and everybody behind going to close up on you, make you run a little bit harder than you want.
Oh yeah. I would prefer not to.
Yeah, you would prefer not to stay side by side for too long.
Maybe a couple of laps, but not too long. Maybe like 2 to 3 laps, and after that, just ease it on off and just let them go. protect your stuff, cool your tires, and then you'll be all right.
Me personally, I don't want to stay side by side no more longer than 2 corners. If I cannot complete the pass, I will just drag my brake, fall back in line, let off the throttle, whatever I have to do to maintain that position I was in before I started the battle. Oh, caution is out this evening. First caution at the moment for accident, it looks like. Who's it gonna be? Oh, back here. Oh, ran out of real estate there. Coming out of turn number 4.
That would be Jason Jason Taylor and Collins.
Oh man, Collins hitting the bumps way up there on the outside groove, and Jason Taylor just walking it up the track, and they just kind of meet on the exit, and then just nowhere to go. Collins kind of figured he was already as high as he could already go without maybe running into the wall, going to the hot dog stand. He didn't want to venture out there, so just no more real estate for Collins to go. Hate to see it. That gives me an opportunity to run and get my drink cup. I will be right back.
So, as all these drivers look to come into the pits at pit row speed of 45. So first caution of the night. So we have Bolton first off, then Lee. And Farm. Oh boy, close battles. As Avery stays out.
Avery stays out and Bodden wins the race off pit road, eh?
Yeah, there was a lot of close
that's for sure.
Road. But it looked like
a whole lot
Bolton,
of them.
Lee, Roberts, Farmer. That one was close. I thought Farmer got him. But I was just wrong. And then Madigan, Elliott, and Neckridge, that was close too. So first caution of the night comes out for the 41 and the 89.
89?
Sorry, the 44. Why did I say the 41? It's the 44.
Probably because he's in some type of 41 Tusk car, I think.
Probably. But Bolton back out in front. With Lee in second, Roberts in third, Farmer in fourth, Joseph Madigan fifth, Greg Elliott sixth, Neckridge seventh, Sample eighth, Carter ninth, and KT. Love seeing that.
Hey.
KT up there in 10th. Hopefully he has a lot better race this week.
Avery staying out to lead that lap. Bodden going back to the lead. Yes, it's been a couple of just terrible past few weeks for KT. Hopefully he can get that train back on the right track this week, though.
Only one can hope.
So 26 laps in the books here at Charlotte. I have 133, 200 miles this evening to go. for the scheduled distance. There we go. That sounded better.
I was going to
Yeah,
say,
right? I was going to be like 200 miles left to go. Oh, no, where are we racing at Kentucky for sure? You know, the 225 Kentucky Click It or Ticket sponsored races. Anywho, only me? Okay. So, not too much of a difference of a change inside the top 10, even though everybody was quite racy in the opening 23 laps of this race. Really good short run. I would say we were halfway through with a stint. Didn't quite get nowhere near a fuel run in, so like I said, we were probably, might as well say, halfway done with the fuel run, but
yep, just about. As Barton will lead the field back to green. Once that pace car does pull off with Lee on the outside and Roberts right behind Barton there, so.
Green flag.
And the green flag is back out.
Barton with a good whole shot restart, leading them off at turn number 2.
This is such a wonderful track to go to. 9 times out of 10 it puts on a good show. I like that 66 paint. It's not bad. Oh. Almost
I feel like Neckridge always has decently good paint schemes on every week.
Oh yeah. A lot of these guys do. It's just all about what you want to run. And I know this race in real life is all patriotic for the military that serve our country and for the lives that they put their self on to defend our country. And,
Didn't really see a whole lot of patriotic schemes this year.
no, yeah, there really wasn't. Maybe.
I mean, there were some, but there wasn't as many as you normally come to expect. So,
Yeah, I was
racing here.
Kyle Busch wasn't in one. Normally he is. I think last
Yeah.
year it was Cheddars. You see there, there's 66, 608 there. That's the other thing, boy. You leave that bottom open, and they
People will take it. If they have that momentum built up, they're going to take it.
And that right there is what happened with Elliott there. Neckridge ended up getting the nose under there. He took it. He put the dirty air on the left rear of that 8 machine and he just took it. And unfortunately that's the way things go.
The way that cookie crumbled. So 100 laps left to go. Brian racing here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This 1.5 mile quad oval, or anybody who cares about kilometers, 2.4 kilometer quad oval. It's also multi-purpose as a road course as well, a roval. Broke up ground, I want to say, yes, 1959, and first race was held here in 1960, so I knew that. But,
I did hear that the Rover's getting
yes.
a revamp.
Well, okay, so like whenever you get thrown back out onto the speedway, so you know that longer portion, and instead of turning right, going down that little short chute in the infield, instead of turning right, you go all the way, you extend out to where like the safety vehicles and stuff normally sit, and you're going to take that long right-hander down, and it's going to be a hairpin basically to get back onto the oval. I'm going to assume the cars are going to get down to maybe speeds maybe 40, 50 miles per hour, like Martinsville speeds in the center of the corner, right? So like that's how I assume that's how slow they're going to be taking that, getting back onto the actual oval, right? Yes, I have seen that. That's going to be interesting later in the year when they go to the Charlotte Roval in the playoffs, Brian. Because everybody's already accustomed to that normal, I almost want to call it the Daytona, spit you back out onto the actual oval track, kind of, from the infield transition back onto the oval transition. But now it's going to be a lot like, man, you almost can't compare it, but to the actual Berlin street circuit that the DTM series races on. I know a lot of people aren't familiar with that, but there's there's two tight hairpin sections on that track, on that street circuit. If anybody was to go look up, DTM racing from, I want to say it's from Berlin. It's a very tight technical, but it's also high-speed street circuit. So it's basically going to be like Charlotte Roval in a sense, if you was to get somewhat of a comparison. It's just not banked. Anyway, this track has hosted everything pretty much. I mean, it's got a drag strip on the other side of the highway, Brian. It's got a dirt track as well. Caddy corner to turn 3 and 4 behind it, right? So, but the actual mile and a half, it's hosted IMSA, it's hosted, what did we have here? Champ Car, Pirelli World Challenge. Back whenever it was called Pirelli World Challenge. Pirelli World Challenge is now GT Challenge America, for those of that care about that. Can-Am, back in 1978, 79, interesting. So, the turns here, 24 degrees of banking in the corners, and 5 degrees on the straightaways. Kenny Brack has the overall race lap record. Interesting. 1998 IndyCar race.
As we come back a little further here, you see Bonani on Spear going into turn 1 and 2, letting them know, hey, I got a little bit more momentum than KT there. Love the things. A good one there. I like that.
I'm playing what year? Go ahead.
Unfortunately, a very rough go for him in the actual race.
Yes, Ryan Blaney, could not pull off the back-to-back 600 wins. It's been quite some time since we've had back-to-back Coke 600 winners. Who was it? Last person to do it. No, Martin. But back-to-back.
Yeah. Martin.
Trying to find when Charlotte got repaved. I'm going to say it was 2011, 2010.
Okay, it's going to be in the 2000s.
I think it was 2010 whenever it got repaved. Notes. Okay, that's not helping me with anything.
KT up here, trying to hold off the vicious pack behind Bonani, Spears, Schwartz, Ostrander, Owens, McDonald. He's got them all. He has them all right here next to him. Surprised nobody hasn't made it 3 wide yet. Ooh, a little bobble there from that 12 of KT. Has Bonani looking to get on by him just like that, and he does. As they all get single file on the low lane, fixing to be 3 wide coming off the turn here. But KT said, nope, that's alright. You guys go ahead and get it. As the 58 looking to pit up a fight with the 35 here. Oh, slide job. Sneaks up right in front of Bonani there. So far, very good race. Almost 50 laps in the book. They're up there in the wall. Trying to drag it down a little bit. Make sure it's safe up there. And they're right on board back here. Spears just riding for a Monday night drive there. And pacing himself. Letting these guys do whatever they gotta do, burn their stuff up. So go ahead and have at it. I'll catch up to you guys in a little bit. The problem is though, you do not want to fall so far off because you're gonna burn your stuff up even more trying to run them back down. I learned that the hard way. Trust me, I did.
Truex won it in 2016 and 2019.
Okay, so
Neil Bonnet is a repeat winner. He won it in 82 and 83.
Alright, so you would really say that he's probably the only one then, Bonnet.
No, because Jeff Gordon did it in 97 and 98. Oh, David Pearson almost did it, but he did it years apart. 61, 74, and 76.
Oh, Neil Bonnet.
Oh, well, Jimmy Johnson, obviously, because he won 3 in a row there, right? From 03 to 05. Darrell Waltrip, 78, 79. And so he's a double repeat winner. Darrell Waltrip won it in 78, 79, and 88 and 89.
You see here, Farmer got by Will Roberts. Now looking to chase down the ever so slightly of Madigan there. We should start seeing pit stops in the next handful of laps here. Next 18 laps. But Madigan has that great diamond effect into the turn. Hitting his marks the way you want to take those turns.
Chevrolet has the most Coke 600 wins with 25.
That's unfortunate.
Ford with 14, Dodge 8, Toyota 7, Mercury 4, that's a car manufacturer that hasn't. Plymouth 3, Buick, Pontiac is tied with 2 apiece.
I don't know. I think Farmer's line is good, but that dirty air that's pressing up on it, which is getting this car tight, it's going to have that tight effect. And if I can recall, I do believe this is going to be a transition race from the way it looks. Not too sure. Could be. So I love transition races. I think they're
I mean,
fantastic.
from when we started, Brian, it looks like the sun is already starting, trying to set. The track is not. It's becoming more shaded. More cloud cover has moved in.
I don't think they're supposed to get rain, are they? They might.
Well, not on ovals.
We don't know that. That's what happened last night. It rained last night. So Robertsville got back in second place. Now looking to run down the head honcho there of Madigan.
The Flaming Hot Cheetos Madigan, might as well call him.
He's been very
Seems
consistent. That's for sure.
Consistent, hot everywhere we go, doesn't matter where.
He just enjoys being up here. It's kind of like Brandon, our Brandon.
Yes.
He makes a progression to finish in the top 3. Likes to be up here to chit chat with everybody, and yeah, I mean, I do believe next week they are the Gateway.
Good thing.
You see the side draft by the 46 of Farmer with Will. Will's like, you know what, just go. Or try to, but he's going to get that run back on the outside lane. Like I did mention, that outside lane has a lot of momentum if you can hit it right.
Yes, indeed. Gateway is next week. Gateway, Nashville, and then we end the season racing in the cornfields of Iowa, Brian. Not too long, shortly after, I'm sure AMS will kick up the next season. So
we might see a few familiar names over here next year or next season.
Yeah, I think
the lights are on. So
I think they try to do like what you do, try to get 2 seasons in 1 year.
Yeah.
Something like that. Not bad, if you break it up, break the year up into like 2 15 to 20 race schedules, bam, you pretty much can get 2 seasons in, no problem at all. Whether you want to try to follow along to the actual Cup Series schedule or make your own, however you want to go about it. Madigan, Roberts, Farmer, Neckridge, Botten, top 5 sample. Elliott, O'Brien, Cochran, and Swartz, they're having a battle. Cochran and Swartz. Nope, Swartz has fallen down. Now Carter's in the battle.
That he is.
Oh, Roberts having to check up. Farmer's going to go up the hill. No, Roberts is pitting. Yes, indeed.
He might have been caught speeding. And it looked like he was going in there pretty hot. Like he was full head honk.
The commitment lines on iRacing are not the actual commitment lines, Brian. We have to remember that as well. So maybe he got loaded down in time. Who knows?
45. He might have.
So like he mentioned just a few moments ago, green flag pit stops to be happening right now. Houghton getting by Neckridge for 4th position.
Oh boy. Here, green flag pit stops happening. As Sample now moves up to that P2. As they're going to stay out a couple more extra laps here, as they are now halfway through this race.
We're seeing Manigan open up the gap now in first position, though. He's opened up about a 2nd and a 10th gap. Just about over Sample. Like I said, in the middle of this pit cycle, green flag action pit stops coming to you live. So
Good race so far, different strategies all over. As Taylor here is cruising with his Stormtrooper double fist.
yeah, JT kind of on a drive back recovery, just about trying to have a decent drive back after being involved in the first caution. Him and Collins coming together out of turn number 4. So 69 laps in the books and completed. Just tell you, you never want Manigan to get out in that clean air. Don't matter what the track is, just got to keep him behind you at all times. Botten bringing his machine down to pit lane. O'Brien going into 2nd place. Cochran not in the Sinclair car, I do believe. I know he is. My apologies. So back in the Sinclair car.
Yep, this week.
Roberts getting by. He's got fresh tires, taking slight advantage of that. Just over halfway. Or no, not quite. My apologies. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 67 is halfway, right? All right. I can do math, Brian.
We all
So,
can eventually.
Yep, eventually. Just got to put your mind to it. After this pit cycle is complete, though, once Madigan, O'Brien, Cochran, and Taylor brings it down pit road, finally, we will do our favorite segment of the evening. Just waiting for them. O'Brien and Cochran bringing their machines respectfully down pit lane. Now only up to Madigan and Taylor. Like I said, you would have a couple of drivers more than likely to stay out longer than the rest. Taylor normally is one of them to do it. Madigan, we've seen him do it in the past too. No surprise here.
Nope. Madigan's very good with it, and Taylor, by the way. They are very good with the fuel
Overcut.
strategy. Yes. Madigan now in the pits. And that just leaves Taylor there. But also remember, though, actually, they actually all put it. Never mind. Just lost that out the window. And I do believe here. Oh.
I don't know if this is beneficial for Taylor or not. But Madigan all the way down in what would be 8th position once Taylor cycles into the pits. And a big battle going on between Elliott and Roberts, though, Brian. Elliott and Roberts, 2nd position, 2nd and 3rd. I'd have to say that was a decent battle until something happened between the two of them.
Taylor now in the pits.
Oh, no. I guess that's what happened between the two of them. The Davey Allison, but Nani got in between them. That's what happened. So. Well, that wasn't Bonani. Oh yeah, it was, but that was the wrong. That's the wrong people's. Yes, it does. Elliott and Roberts, though, just 0.3 of a second separates those two. Farmer, Carter, 3rd and 4th. Neckridge, 5th. Then 6.25 seconds back to Randy Sample in 6th position. He's got Swartz all over the back of him. One would have to think in 7th position. Boughton and Madigan. Madigan going to probably storm through the field now. He's got the freshest of the fresh tires. Ostrander in 10th position. He's got Bonini all over the back of him like a bad rash. And KT is watching that battle unfold. Right behind KT, though, he's got O'Brien, Sean O'Brien, making a pass and gets by Kevin. Look at Sean O'Brien. Sean O'Brien has Superman tires. So he is trying to slice and dice his way up through the field. Bonini got by, so hopefully Ostrander can put that rash behind him.
Now we can We will now step away and do our favorite segment of the night here. Let you guys listen to the sounds of Charlotte. And a couple of onboard ride-alongs with a few of these AMS drivers here. So enjoy.
bold strategy by Greg Elliott, bringing his number to 6, 8, whatever single-digit number machine he's in, that Walmart-sponsored number 8 machine, that Ford Mustang, Dark Horse Mustang, down pit road, running up there with the top leaders. This should put him right in the window of making it to the end. Everybody's up there in traffic, possibly a good opportunity if the race stays green for Elliott to capitalize on what he saw in front of him as Madigan was slicing and dicing his way up through the field during that crank it up segment, bringing Boughton with him. Boughton, Farmer was leading this sample up here. Roberts was up here for a moment, then his tire fall off occurred. So we're seeing a few drivers cycling back up to where they were. Where's JT? JT must have had a long pit stop, or maybe had a penalty or something to start. No, that's right. That JT is about where he should be. My apologies. So he's still cycling back up, catching up to the people who have, say, 10 lap older tires to him, to when him and Madigan stayed out. So that's where he should be. I'm just freaking out. Don't mind me. Can't do math over here sometimes, but like I said, once you put your mind to it, you can. 94 laps in this race complete. In the books. Madigan, Boughton, Farmer, Sample, and Sean O'Brien. Will Roberts trying to claw back into the top 5, but just don't know about the tire life on the Roberts machine. I do suspect everybody does need to come back down pit road. That's why Elliott just cut this last stint in half. He just did a kung fu fooey on everybody and was like, ka-chow, hoping that strategy will catch everybody out. He's currently 1 car away from being the first car 1 lap down. Farmer now pits. Farmer in the pits, being the next person to come down.
Boughton's hanging strong there, B2. Now that they are fully under the lights. But does he have anything for Madigan?
Now you see that pinkish purple sky. That sun finally trying to completely set here. It'll probably be finally completely set with about maybe 15 to go. Wouldn't you say, Brian? Maybe 10 to go. It'll probably be set.
Depends on what
maybe on the final lap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the speed acceleration.
Next 5 to 10 laps at least. But if they don't have it on that, then you are correct.
Very good, mild-mannered bunch here this evening. Haven't seen too much of, stomach and mouth moments or anything like that. Cars, for the most part, have been on rails. I know some of these drivers have had to really back up the corners and had to fight the car a little bit, but that's just the way she goes at Charlotte from time to time. It can be a bumpy track if you navigate the lanes a bit wrong, but like I said, that's Charlotte. Closing in on that 33 lap to go mark. Madigan looking very strong here. He's pulling out to a over 2-second lead over Boughton. Sean O'Brien back in third. 3 1/4 seconds back. Randy 3.5. JT moving up into 5th place. Got to remember, this is a cycle of pit stops occurring, so. But we do know JT and Madigan can go the distance with their machinery. Everybody else deciding to come down a little bit sooner, possibly, or May not wanting to go the full distance.
See that Bolton now in the pits?
I think JT could possibly take a right side tire call here. What do you think, Brian?
I'm gonna say he could.
I don't see why he couldn't. We know how quick JT could be once he puts the pedal down. You know, get in the put. You know, full beans, as they say, right? So.
And now, just like that,
Madigan actually pitted before Taylor. So if I'm Taylor, I want to pit. Oh, Taylor's gonna lead a lap, I think, here. Then he's gonna pit. So actually, good on Taylor to get an extra bonus point, Brian. That could help.
Oh yeah, any extra bonus points will help in the longer run. Lead a lap or whatever it is.
He scraped the wall there coming out of turn 4. I don't know
what exactly their bonus points are. But JT staying out a little bit longer than what should be expected, but
yeah, if I was JT, I would have brought it in after leading that lap, right? But everybody's different, Brian. Everybody's strategy, like you were saying. Loads of different strategy unfolding here this evening. Charlotte, that really leads into it.
Boy, it's the coolest I've ever seen a track temp, to be honest with you.
What is the track temp?
79 degrees.
Wow. So
but Taylor has about a 16-second lead over Matt. And right behind him is Elliott, so.
But you got to go all the way back to 5th place to find Farmer, who has the freshy tires out of anyone else. Then Madigan, who's a couple of seconds back from Farmer, no doubt going to eat that deficit down. Roberts, he's right behind Madigan, but you know, he pitted before Madigan, so don't really think he's got the tire to beat back down Madigan. So, like I said, I think Taylor, he's going a bit too long, Brian. He should have pitted after leading that one lap, but he's really probably hoping, praying, doing everything he can, wanting a caution to occur and not be a part of it, right? So.
Yeah, that's always a good thing here. Try to stay as long as you can, hoping for that caution. If not, then unfortunately, kind of didn't go the way you wanted it to. But 25
Andy had a bobble
laps
off
to
the
go.
corner. Yes, 25 laps to go here. Taylor still leading this race. We don't really see a fuel pressure gauge inside the digital dash while riding on board. We just see telemetry as far as RPM gauge, gear, and lap time. So unfortunately, don't get to see, you know, estimated fuel.
There are options for that, though. You can get it.
No, I'm saying as a spectator.
Yeah.
We only get to see the gear, go back in the in-car and you'll see what I meant by what we only get to see as a spectator. Like, we only get to see the RPM rev, the gear, and the lap time. We don't get to see anything else. but I'm assuming if you were driving, or if we were able to view actual Jason Taylor's onboard, we would be able to see air or water temp, oil temp, all this other gauges that we would normally be seeing if we were piloting the race car. Am I correct? like
Um,
like if you were doing this race, you would be seeing a lot more than just fifth gear RPM gauge, right? Like you would be seeing a lot more numbers on that digital dash, right, Brian?
yes and no, because I really don't look at that.
Okay, thank you. You are such a big help, sir.
But
I understand. I
but
wouldn't really pay too much mind to it either.
because you
Anywho,
kind of got the spot that says, okay, pit now. So,
yeah,
but
I
nine
get it.
times
My
out of 10,
apologies.
no, you're fine. 9 times out of 10, that could be a little off. And it will show you the same thing that we saw on Taylor Street. But what I'm saying is each driver, you can change what your dash looks like. So you can go back to the old style way where there's an actual
Yeah,
speedometer there.
like a rev tac.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like you said, it's not really a speedometer; it's a tachometer.
Yeah. Like I said, iRacing, they give you all that option, whatever you feel more comfortable using.
Right, you probably have like what 4 different pages you could cycle through on the digital dash to
I think they have
whichever
3, I think.
3 or 4. Yeah, 3 makes sense. I don't know
I,
how many they have in the real world because I've seen quite a few different display settings on quite a few different drivers. Digital dash. I like the truck series and the Cup Series. There's been a few in the Cup Series that I thought was pretty cool. I'm a big sucker for like the GT and like the prototype, like basically like their steering wheel for most of the time, like is their
now those
digital
work.
dash.
Even
Right.
if, even if you're spectating stuff like that, those work. As I seen on Richards. I was doing helping Richard at one of his races. Those you actually see how much fuel he has left and everything else. I don't know why the next gen and select a few other cars where we don't actually see how much fuel they have left. Which I'm sure
Good battle.
eventually they'll probably do it.
Oh yeah, eventually. It's probably due to coding or something. Who knows? Switz and Elliott in second and third.
Yeah.
Good battle
Cody.
between them. They keep swapping back and forth. Madigan and Roberts. Roberts trying to anchor with Madigan, but like I said earlier, I just don't think Roberts is going to have enough to do anything with Madigan. He's already trying to pull away from Roberts. Like I said, he's running down Farmer. How much more? How much longer? How many more laps can Jason Taylor stay out for? I don't think it's too much more longer.
I know I wouldn't. You already got yourself in a sucker hole now. So,
Maybe at this point you just take enough fuel to get you home.
yeah.
But even then you lose so much time, just like the pit lane delta, slowing down, to the 45 mile per hour for the commitment line, cruising, pit box, hold for, gosh, maybe 6 seconds, and then you're off again. And then by the time you pick back up speed, you've probably already lost. You're already back down to maybe 10th place. And then you come out with old tires, if that's what Jason Taylor plans on doing. He's just going to be getting fed to the lions at that point, if that's his plan. Will Roberts has Sean O'Brien all over him. And now he's past him. Now he can take a bit of a breath before Randy could possibly get to him. Randy's got 2.5, 3 seconds back. Jason Taylor finally bringing his 44 machine down pit lane. That'll leave Swartz and Elliott in first and second at the moment to duke it out. I believe Elliott could get back around Swartz and possibly win this race if Manigan can just stay in the dirty air. Never mind. I was going to say if Manigan could stay in the dirty air of Farmer, but I don't think that's to be the case now. 12 laps to go here. Manigan now ahead of Farmer. He's just got Elliott left to go, and then he's got Swartz. He sees Elliott. He has plenty of time to pass both of these competitors, one would think. Manigan has the fresher tire. Elliott started this pit cycle completely off here. You see Elliott almost, not quite struggling, but just a bit uncomfortable in turn 4 there. The car just got up off bottom lane. Now Manigan goes. Elliott's going to try to close the door. Manigan's there, rubbing his brake. They're touching. Contact being made.
He was doing everything to try to slow Madigan down.
That is for sure.
But
is that going to be enough?
That's going to cost him a little bit of time, which is now
a whole lot of time.
Reel in Farmer to get even closer.
Elliott says, hey, you got to pass me, go to the outside, pretty much. Farmer, and this is going to be a simple pass, hopefully going down the back straightaway for Farmer. But oh my goodness, contact still being made back there.
Lots of contact.
Swartz in the lead by a second and almost a half, or Madigan trying to find the momentum back to run Swartz back down after passing and disposing of Elliott. Farmer and O'Brien did the same as well, so that results Elliott back to at least a 5th place finishing result. I don't know if Roberts will get to Elliott or not, but Sample might get to Roberts. Here comes Randy. Manigan slowly crunching the deficit down to Swartz, down to about a 1.25 seconds just about. It is. Roberts and Sample. As Roberts keeps losing position here. Go point that camera on Madigan, please, because he is slowly reeling in Swartz. Slowly but surely, please don't call him Shirley. I'm going to think he's going to say. There you see the deficit.
Will Swartz have a very defenseless line against Madigan to try to
hold him off?
Yes.
To win this race. He finds himself leading the final laps here, coming up on Avery.
Coming to 4 laps to go here. As he's going to pack that dirty air on the nose of that 76 machine there. As they come to 4 laps to go, Will. But Madigan is right there. Isn't gonna go down without a fight. For sure.
Wirtz is doing everything he can, like you say, to take that lane away from Madigan. Madigan is there, all over the back of Swartz. He tries to go to the top. Now he's going to go all the way downstairs. Nothing that Swartz could do, I would think, to defend that lane right there. Oh, side draft going through the quad oval of the front straightaway. Oh, Swartz got really ill handling going through the center of 1 and 2. Had to back up as I believe Madigan had to back the corner up mid-corner. And that dumped a lot of dirty air. 2 laps to go, yes indeed. Can Swartz have anything for an attack back on Madigan? Or is it already too late? Has he already drove his stuff off, trying to preserve and defend the race lead? He's there. He's still there on Madigan. Searching, looking. But now Madigan in the clean air. He's starting to spread and drive away now.
White flag.
Swartz looking back downstairs. Madigan trying to go down to cut him off. Here we go, down the back straightaway for the final time. Madigan trying to break the draft, breaking the toe, going into turn 3 and 4. Oh, yes. Madigan goes down. Oh, he blinked out for just a moment, but now he's back coming out of turn number 4. Madigan holds off Swartz to win the race here at Charlotte. And the battle for the final spot on the podium and the final top 5 positions here. Sean O'Brien, 3rd. Farmer, 4th. Randy Sample, 5th. Robert, 6th. Elliott, 7th. What a slobber knocker for the top 5 there. 5th, 6th, 7th there. Holy moly. Roberts and Elliott was sure duking it out there on that final lap.
Oh yeah, they were.
Jason Taylor drives back to a 9th place finish. A stand-up top 10 for JT after being involved in the first and only caution of this race way back on lap 23. So, excellent strategy for JT for him to finish in the top 10. Madigan burning it down.
That was an awesome run by these guys. I would have to agree.
Joseph Madigan, Jonathan Swartz, Sean O'Brien Jr., Josh Farmer, Randy Sample, that's the top 5. Will Roberts, Greg Elliott, John Neckrich, Jason Taylor, Kane Lee, that's the top 10. Chris Ostrander, Antonio Bonini, Michael Cochran, Kevin Troyansky, and Matt Owens, that's the top 15. Adam Boughton, Aaron Spear, and Clint Collins, that's 15th through 18th. Brian, you have the rest. There's only a couple.
Yep, Avery McDonald 19th, Brian Baker 20th, and Michael Carter 21st. Now we'll wrangle up our finishers here, and speaking of one of them, they're in there. Sean O'Brien. Sean!
What's up?
How's it going, sir?
Another podium. Can't be mad.
I would not be mad. That was a great drive back for you. So, awesome run tonight. Absolutely, that's the first thing that I'm going to say to you. Awesome run. It seemed like your your car was really good. Not too much of a tightness. Unlike some of these guys who are struggling coming off the turns. Um, Explain to the people who are watching and to myself and Will, um, how the car handled throughout the transition, which lane was preferred, and how much was your right front really taking a beating on that tire?
Yeah, I was super, super tight on entry this entire race. There might have been some guys that are tight on exit, but for me, it was definitely really tight getting into the turn, getting to the center. I struggled with that all night. But, we didn't get off to a good start. I messed up qualifying, hit the wall on both laps, so I had to start from the back, and then it was just chipping away one spot at a time, just trying to get up front. Man, on that last stop, I was so close to pulling the trigger on two tires, and it might have worked. It almost worked for the 58, but yeah, I took four tires, same as Joseph, and just followed him. Followed him to a podium. Can't be mad. I think we're tied in the points now of the chase, so it's about to get interesting.
Oh yeah, close points are always better than being 20 points out. I do notice your team there, JT, tried a different strategy, and me and Will were getting kind of a little worried about that. Like you said that a little bit too long, but I'm sure you guys are communicating very well. All teammates do that, but yes, we were up here getting a little nervous for him. Like, all right, how much longer are you going to stay out for? But your teammate came in a heck of a lot more earlier than him. But you end up getting it done, P3 podium finish, which is always good to see. Especially here at Charlotte, one of the most iconic tracks that NASCAR does do in their series. Very big with the military. Digging the paint scheme, well, patriotic. But anyway, sir. Next week, I do believe you guys head to Gateway. What will be the mindset heading into Gateway?
Um, well, I'm definitely gonna work on qualifying more, if tonight is any indication. But yeah, Gateway is just one of them weird tracks, man. It's like Phoenix,
I don't
where
like it.
turn one and two are completely different than three and four. I like them weird ones. I like the flat long ones like that in Hampshire. So it's gonna be interesting. Just trying to roll through that center, especially three and four, how flat that is. Just get a good run down the backstretch and set up a pass.
Yes, sir. As everybody compares that to, it's just a flatter Darlington with the
Well,
way it's kind of shaped.
well, you know what Kyle Petty said about Darlington. That's how I feel about Gateway.
Yes, they should fill it up and make it an aquarium, put some fish in it, make it a bass fishing tournament. Sean, yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I agree about that with a few tracks, not a lot, but there's a few. I'm still on the bring back Riverside, even though that's difficult to do. Anyway, Sean, so congratulations on the podium finish. Just like you said, the handling of the car just didn't work out for you this evening. Gateway is Gateway, and we shall not talk about that too much more because Gateway is just, back whenever the track started to tear up in like 96, 97, whatever year that was, they should have just start tearing that track up and just rebuild it. We could rebuild it better or just make it a parking lot or something. Who knows? But tonight, great race. Only one caution. Unfortunately, teammate JT got caught up in it, but he had a good drive back into a top 10 finish. So hopefully, everybody over there, what's your team called?
Black Flag Motorsports.
Oh, I love that. That's a fantastic team name. Hopefully, everybody over there at Black Flag, loves the result of tonight. Like I said, drive back recovery by JT, you podium finish, and good to talk to you tonight, Sean. And hopefully we'll be talking to you next week at Gateway.
I hope so.
Final thoughts, shout outs, anything else?
Shout out JST. Shout out everyone else at Black Flag. Shout out you guys. Shout out Memorial Day. Shout out the troops. We wouldn't be able to spend our nights driving virtual race cars and one for them keeping us safe. So, happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, guys.
No problem.
Thank you.
Next up, well, we only got Madigan here, so Mr. Madigan.
What's up?
How's it going,
Oh,
sir?
what's up?
Or hold on,
It's
wait,
going-
shall we say AKA Martin Truex?
I wouldn't say that. I didn't dominate that much. I only led like 50 laps.
Well, you tried dominating as much as Truex. You tried.
Yeah, but I choked in qualifying like him, so I guess I am.
Oh, wow.
That sounds about right.
Nice.
That does. Yeah,
Yeah,
That seems to be a common
well-
theme for the front runners.
it does.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
no,
agree. Look at
well,
Larson for the 600 qualifying. I mean, he was looking great up until 3 and 4, and it's like 3 and 4. You know, it's like whatever.
Yeah.
I watched all that qualifying for nothing. I'm like, man, I sit here for anyway. We're talking about you, Madigan, not Larson's qualifying for the 600. Great result. Some would say, you know, good running. The first caution of the evening happened in the middle of a stint there, so we didn't quite see who was the cream of the top. I mean, we kind of did, but we kind of didn't. We didn't know who was going to be running you down after you got in the clean air, but once you got in the clean air, you tried to scoot Boogie away, right? So tell us about that. Once you navigated the traffic, like you said, you had a bum qualifying, and then you just sliced and diced through the field, right? And just tell us about what type of handling you need here at Charlotte, or just what you need all on your side to be able to do that, Joseph.
Yeah, I think you really need a car that turns on the back end of the corner. It seems like you can get into the corner, and the way the banking kind of folds down the track in 1 and especially 3, because the turn 3 and 4 is a little bit sharper. So, you really need to point on exit. At least I feel, because entrance it just naturally does that and kind of skirts the car sideways. But midway through that run, after I passed everybody, the car was handling great. I just had to, make sure I ran my own pace, didn't overdrive it. The first caution, it didn't fall at a great time, but it wasn't the worst thing in the world, because at least I gained some spots. And then I could restart that saving process over again with a better position on the track. I wish I could say I purposely lost a spot on pit road just so I could start on the inside, but that's not the case. I almost blew through my box, so then restarted in 5th, and then kind of slice and dice my way up there. I knew that if they started racing, they'd burn their stuff up, and if I just kept running the bottom in 5th gear, that would save my tires. So I had to stay disciplined, and it seemed like I kind of was fighting them a little bit at the start just so I would keep that position. I wouldn't lose 10 and have to gain it all back. But on the backside of every run, it seemed like they just kept coming to me. I saved my stuff well enough, and then later in the race, especially right at the end there, I needed to start shifting just because once I got closer, I knew I had the tire advantage. But dirty air is way worse than tires in basically any track that I've gone to.
Yes, Charlotte here can just be something else on with tire wear. So, like you said, you really got to start having a good corner entry, and then just that drive off is truly what you need. Like you said, you have to have a good turn off the corner here, and if you don't, it's just going to be rough the whole night. Ty, if you don't want to miss the races, you gotta you gotta subscribe, you gotta click that notification bell, and then bam, hopefully you'll know when we go live.
Sorry,
But other than that,
he's just talking to the people in chat.
No, come
Yes.
on, Ty. What are you doing? Subscribe.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, come on, get with the program here.
You
Get
gotta
on.
listen to the race winner.
Yeah, got to. And maybe overall champion in a few weeks. You never can
Hey,
tell.
let's not get ahead of yourself. Sean's looking
Yeah,
great.
don't exactly. Sean is dude. He was all over you like a bad rash at one point.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't see it, but if you guys saw it, that's all that matters.
He was on somebody like a bad rash. I don't think it was you, but it was somebody, right, Brian? It was. He was.
It was somebody.
I think it
I
was.
don't think it was
I,
Madigan. Madigan was more
no.
up
Yeah,
towards the
yeah, yeah.
front.
He was.
That
Yeah,
was more of
you were Lightning McQueen in a way with everything, but
behind him by like
um,
6 spots, I
yeah.
think.
Sean's kind of like Chick Hicks. He's just back there waiting to go.
You calling
Anyway,
him a villain?
no,
Okay.
not at all. I'm just saying.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah. Man. Don't throw me into the
Don't tell my
bus.
boy
I'm not.
Sean like that.
Yeah, exactly. So, anywho, next week's Gateway, Joseph. What's the thought process, the mindset going into that flat egg-shaped track that is all sorts of chaos that maybe could be bad on the tires?
Yeah,
Shifting here?
I haven't.
Whole
Oh
lot of
yeah, a
shifting?
lot of shifting there.
Whole lot of
Especially
shifting going on.
Yeah, I haven't done any practice. I didn't do anything last year with it, so I'm gonna have to get up on my game. But these next few weeks are looking pretty good for me. It seems like I have a better performance on the shorter tracks and I'd say more of the skill tracks. These mile and a halves, at least in this league, haven't been my strong suit in the next gen in general. So Gateway, I'm feeling strong about. Just as long as I can, qualify, worth the crap, and then I think what is it, Nashville and Iowa. So at least,
Yeah.
yeah, on the short tracks, I think I'm like 3 for 5. So and all of them are top 5. So hopefully that translates to Iowa and I can take home the championship there. But it's about Gateway, and you got to be fast week in and week out. So if we can keep this streak going, I think we'll have something for him.
I guess if we're gonna call anybody, the villain, or like, I guess it could be my doppelganger out there. That's, I guess it could be Will, but anywho, yes, the next coming few weeks can be a challenge. Like you say, Nashville can be pretty tricky. That mile and a third track, Gateway, that mile and a third track.
I think it's a mile and a third, something around there.
Yeah, that's a mile and a tenth. Something. Who were they just out of their gourd on something whenever they designed these tracks in the Midwest, or like over? What were they doing? Anywho, but yeah, Iowa, you're going to be racing in the cornfields in a few weeks as well. So, that's the championship deciding race as far as I know. So, that's always a doozy, right? Racing in Iowa. I guess I could just talk to you forever. You're like my new Brandon. Do you have Call of Duty too? Anyway, Joseph, that's enough for tonight. Any final thoughts, shout-outs? Okay. Any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to add there, Joseph, before we let you go finally?
Yeah, I'd like to add one thing. I was, I guess you could say my home track, so I've got something to prove. And like you were saying, if anyone's the villain, I guess it's me. And
okay, not my doppelganger.
I got something to prove him wrong, because it seems like everyone's
putting on the Earnhardt hat, are you?
Yeah, everyone's racing me a little aggressive out there.
Yeah, it looks like it, eh?
Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was Greg or somebody was like,
Greg.
Turn 1.
It was Elliot,
Michael
boy.
McDowell
He
impersonator.
was really roughing you up. He's like,
Yeah, I mean,
back.
I understand it, but like I've got way fresher tires, and his race was done at that point unless the caution came out. So I don't understand that, but I can't fault him for at least racing in a race. So
yes,
I needed to get by him quickly anyway. So
the Dynaco's all mine at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, I got a special paint scheme for Iowa anyway too. So
interesting. You got some corn on it? You gonna be like just? Okay. Anyway, hey Jaden, how you doing? Anyway, had to throw that out there. He said, "Hey, hi."
Hey, Jaden.
Yeah, right. Hey Jaden, you got to come over here, race with these fellas. You wouldn't know what to think. Anyway, sorry, Brian, I wasn't throwing nobody under the bus. I swear.
No, you're good.
Anyway, yeah, no, I am. How about you? Man,
I'm just relaxing.
Race winner. Exactly. Next week, Gateway. Like I said, we talked enough about Gateway. Final thoughts, you've already said them. Joseph, congratulations tonight. Big golf clap for you on just driving up through the field, and then that slicing and dicing you did on that one pit stop cycle there. You came out and was just running everybody down. That was cool to watch. Loved it. I loved all this. Getting to call the races this season over here in this league has just been something else. Because it's just been fascinating, just hard racing to watch too. Like you guys put on a tremendous show. Um, Anywho, we got to say goodbye to you now before we talk to you the rest of the night. Don't want to hold up everybody and basically turn this into a podcast, right? So anyway, so good night, Joseph. And any other final thoughts or shout outs, or you just want to go now, Joseph? Or
Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna shout out you guys putting on the broadcast every week.
oh yeah,
Surprised you guys haven't left with all this dominant. Anyways, just joking.
Wow.
Yeah, and we also gotta recognize the troops and soldiers that we lost on the battlefield
Yes.
and
sir.
while deployed. This
If it
wouldn't be
wouldn't-
possible without them. So
Yes.
this is all goes to them and then also the league. And got to give a huge shout out to the man on the tower today, on top of the roof, Hayden Law. He was my spotter tonight. So the strategy was all up to him, and he was coaching me through that, making sure I didn't overdrive my stuff. So shout out to him. And then also shout out to Jonathan. He could have plowed me in turn 3, but he did, but he didn't wreck me. So that he could have easily Kyle Busch my stuff, just like Chicagoland.
He did not have the Swartz on his side tonight,
He did
unfortunately.
not.
No. Anyway, good night, Joseph. So
Good night.
good. Yes, congratulations again on the win, and looking forward to what you may be able to do at Gateway next week. Anyway, myself, Will Roberts, the better one, not the one that was out on the track. I'm just kidding, Will. Anyway, Brian Hunt, he has iRacing, I do not. Anyway, so yes, it was a great race, Brian. Like Joseph said, thank you to Avery and everyone else who wanted us to be a part of calling this league. If it wouldn't be for all the men and women who have sacrificed their lives to bring us the freedom of which we live in the great United States or any other freedom country, like, say, Canada, Great Britain, and so forth, we would not have the privileges it would be today if it wouldn't be for those great lives lost on the field of battle. So that's what Memorial Day is all about. Just stopping and thanking those men and women, remembering them, but also, like Brian says, also the family that you have. Remember the family. Some of your family members could have served, whether it be Coast Guard, first responders, whatever it may be. I consider first responders, in that line of duty, just like military personnel. Anywho,
They do just as much as.
yes.
I really wouldn't say just as much, but they do stuff like the military.
They put their lives on the line every day, responding to any type of call it may be. I will stand by that comment because there's no telling what goes on in this world today, right? So.
Yep, I've done it.
But outstanding race tonight. Congratulations to the podium finishers, all the people, all the drivers who showed up, competed in the race, and all the people who came out, supported us this evening, and who will come out and support us, come back and rewatch this race. Next week, we are on to Gateway for the AMS Cup Series. Tomorrow night, we will be in our Truck Series action, coming to you at 7:30, 8:30 Eastern Time, 7:30 Central. So, yes, indeed, Brian Huntley and myself, William Rhodes, would like to thank each and every one of you, and hopefully you will have a wonderful and safe good night.